Hey guys, and welcome to a game called My Furry Protogen. Don't ask why I'm playing this. I saw it, I thought, you know what? This is random. I like to play random games. I'm sorry, but I do. We're gonna start. My name is. I'll just put J. First, let me get all this set up. Should the voices working? Yep. Okay, let's. Return. There we go. Rather, the sun hit me right in the face as soon as its rays flashed through a crack in the window curtains, which was so promptly located right above my bed. I barely restrained myself from letting out a miserable groan and tried to turn over, hiding my face in the pillow to sleep off as much as I could. Good morning, Jay. You're already awake? Rise and shine, son. You have a lot of work today. Dad, too cheerful for a man who got up with the sunrise, opened the curtains, served as the door to my room, stepped right up to my bed. He put my hands on my hips, beaming me with a smile. I fidgeted on my bed and tried to press my face harder into the pillow. Please just let me sleep. It's early. Early? It's not too early, son. It's time to accomplish new feats. What feats, Dad, really? What do you mean your everyday son is a little feat of our entire community? Come on, get up. I'm in agreement with Stefan, I think I said it right. He promised to sew you the best outfit for your birthday for free. He agreed to do it as a gift. Can you believe it? Without hiding the sarcastic notes in my voice, I chuckled under the blanket. It is unbelievable, an act of outstanding generosity. I told him the same thing. Stefan is the best tailor in our village, a truly gifted man, as if Mother of Heaven himself kissed him on his hands. Get up soon, your mom has already made breakfast. You don't want to be late, do you? As a busy man, you won't have time later, although of course he will definitely have time for our chosen one. That's mine and patted me on the skip some stuff that was sticking on when I was 3 years old. But we're not going to see what our character looks like, but God, it was strange because at the time I was no more than 3 years old. Maybe these false memories that I invented for myself by listening to my parents' stories about the wonderful days throughout my childhood. It didn't matter whether they were false or not. All that matters were the blurry pictures stuck in my head. It was a flame of the bonfire, which birthday celebrations of all the village children born on this date took place. Just reading it myself just then, it just coincidence with the end of the year when our settlement of Northern Valley was harvesting. It was the singing of the school choir girls, the smell of freshly brewed birdberry juice. The elders came to give the usual instructions to the younger generation. At that moment, one of them informed us all he had a vision. He had seen lit. It was from a starbird to him from the sky, and told him that a 3-year-old child, the son of a simple farmer, carried a great destiny. According to the elder, in the future he would become the head of the community. He would lead the village to prosperity and save it from destruction. If I decided to turn off my path, I would have instantly brought terrible trouble to the village community. Now, what kind of trouble was this? No one specified. We were simply confronted with that fact. And so in an instant, I turned into a simple child, from a simple child who had all my fears into a savior whose fate was predetermined by someone from above for the rest of my life. In my opinion, the elder's story was outlet who took the form of the starbird was strange and did not inspire confidence, but the village thought otherwise. Everyone immediately took the elder's word on faith. After all, they used to live like this for many centuries, never questioning this story, which was more like a fairy tale in my eyes. After personally, I really like the idea of being the chosen one. I was a simple child who few people noticed, who had to view everything on a par with peers and take part in natural competition for toys, for roles, children's games, and queue for bungee jumping. And I became almost the first person in the community who looked after like a program. You got the best streets, the best toys, the best clothes. Every villager, like I said, did their duty to wish me a good day every time they saw me. The teacher at the village school treated me different. They always helped and didn't give more praise when I deserved them. How wonderful my birthday were. How my birthday was celebrated separately from the others. Previously, all children born the same day celebrated the same way and received the same gifts until the age of 20. But the birthday of the children was celebrated separately, so the birthday of the other was usually switched to another. How did that work? I got the best, most desired gifts. Whereas apparently everything was free, treats, fancy clothes, everything I could ask for. My parents couldn't get enough of it. The son was a real savior of the community to whom everyone was given. But in return, whose life forever belonged to this teeny piece of land with a settlement on it, each resident separately, because I had to save them. And I didn't know from whom, from what. Been asking myself this question since I was 10 years old. The realization of my difficult fate finally settled upon my child mind. From who would I save the Northern Valley? If it meant the attack of the Southern tribes, I would hardly be of any help. I was highly doubtful that I would become an excellent warrior, no matter how much they taught me to fight with swords. I didn't show much success. My teacher always said that experience would come with time. That is just me trained tirelessly. But that was a child like such. I did better with a bow, thanks to my good eyesight, and became natural. Like concentration, my thoughts were constantly hovering somewhere high, causing me to be distracted and miss. In short, even when I seemed to be doing well, I wasn't the best. But the teachers only repeated, it didn't matter, so your destiny is different. Everything always rested on my person. I tried to figure out for myself what it was. The theory of being a great warrior fell away. Then what? Was I to prevent a global national disaster, stop invaders from deep space? But I didn't have any superpowers and wasn't gifted any scientist who could solve these kinds of problems. The longer I thought about this, the longer I searched for answers to the question posed to me. For I realized that even Damien, my friend, have coped with the role of each other much better than me. He was the only person I could call my friend, although I was by stretch. In fact, he wasn't my friend at all. It was generally better in everything related to physical fitness and being chosen. The council of elders assigned him to me as a child. They said that I needed a delightful companion and defender. Damien was only 6 months older, but he carried the burden of my babysitter, guardian, and friend with dignity. Damien played the role perfectly with honor and dedication to the council. I betrayed a friend who sincerely liked to spend time with me, but each of us understood that we were not genuine connection between us. Sometimes we chatted with each other, laughed, shared news, or discussed the life of the town. But beyond that, we had nothing to talk about. I wasn't interested in Damien's life, and Damien wasn't interested in what I wanted, what I thought, or how I viewed my future as chosen. For him, I was a task that couldn't be failed because terrible trouble was sure to await the North Valley. From my side with Damien, it seemed to me that he was more suitable for the role of the chosen one than me. Damien was devoted to the council and the village. He believed in the faith and long predetermined life of all of us. That is, was stupid to resist it. But once or twice, Damien shared that if he became the chosen one, it would make him the happiest person on the planet. But I was the chosen one. Damien was happy for me because that's what the stars decided, so that's what was right. I was very far from this philosophy, but I tried not to show it once again. Just during the years of our friendship, I've been mentioned in passing, seeing that the fate of the chosen one didn't please me very much. That it was unfair to decide for me who I should be and what to do in my life. I said I would much prefer the life of ordinary peasant than preparing for the royal savior, the essence of which became more and more incoherent. Blah blah blah. Even though the life of an ordinary peasant wasn't the most pleasant for me, it wasn't better for the burden of elders placed on my shoulders. When Damien heard he was terrified. All the kind of his face immediately disappeared. He seemed to have forgotten how he had been getting used to the role of my friend for years, and politely declared that I was wrong. He said that I was talking utter nonsense. That it was better for me to stop thinking like that, otherwise he would tell the elders everything. What exactly the elders would do to me for this, I don't know. After all, they wouldn't punish their chosen one. They wouldn't send me to prison until the day of all days when they needed my help. Damien was filled with righteous anger and outrage. My words didn't fit into his picture of the world, and the only threat he knew was punishment from the owners. It was as if Damien himself was afraid that a beautiful story about the chosen one would fall apart if he questioned any of it. What was a cage for me but a gift for him? Damien got so angry that he called me an idiot and a selfish bastard. In his opinion, I wanted to jeopardize the fate of our tribe, the fate of Northern Valley, and possibly the planet as a whole. I explained to him that it wasn't my intention and he had simply overreacted, but it didn't work. Damien thought that since I was dissatisfied with my position, it meant that the fate of the village was indifferent to me, as well as the owners' words and the lives of members of the community. Several minutes he shouted accusations at me menacingly until his face was red. Only stopped when I lied, saying that it was all a joke and he misunderstood. He calmed down and turned to the good friend again, who was always ready to help. I knew that his friendship wasn't worth a damn. From now on, I tried not to say a word about what I really needed to feel. All my life, I tried to hide my real thoughts from people. It seemed that everyone would react exactly the same as Damien, even my parents. My parents revealed in my destiny, more proud than ever, supported the fairy tale about salvation with all their might. When I turned 15, I was about to celebrate my birthday separately at the time. The stigma of special boy was already sickening. I wanted to be an ordinary person, but at least one day to celebrate my birthday with everyone in particular. There ever had been any lit with this warning. However, my parents were against my idea. They said I should not be ashamed of my destiny. I simply had to recognize mine, and being different was great. But what was great about it, I had no friends, no hobbies. I spent all my free time on classes and training with those with whom I would have liked to make friends, or at least try to. It looked at me like destiny descended from heaven. I saw myself as a small animal in a cage. They've been fed me in certain ways since childhood. My parents put me on a strict diet, including the most healthy products, all because the chosen one should have excellent health. No treats, no sweets. My parents also raised me according to advice of the elder, cleanly and the best quality clothes. Each step was with the coat of arms and valley on the chest, a palm print, enclosed in a circle, a symbol of unity. The elders controlled what I read, told me how to behave, where to go. After all, the chosen one simply didn't set a bad example to the residents of the community. All the children wanted to be like me, pointing their fingers at me and sighing when I passed by. No one treated me as an equal. I couldn't explain to anyone what it was like to be an outcast. I couldn't share my true feelings with the people who called me a selfish bastard. But I became a stranger in my native village. That was how I lived. Without the ability to decide something for myself, without the ability to wake up in the morning when I want, eat what I want, say what I see fit. Classes, the teachers, and mentor, and other work out with Damien. I walked through the village and kind of ritual that elders also came up with. then homework, and finally sleep. I wouldn't wish such a life on anyone. Hey, get up quickly, your breakfast will be cold soon. Thank God, that took forever. Well, the voice came from the kitchen, enthusiastic as my father's. I took a deep breath, looked at the ceiling one last time, and got up for bed. As the pre-prepared clothes that went out to the parents in the kitchen, Mom and Dad were talking about something at the table, smiling at each other. I sat down opposite them, frowning like a stormy cloud, and began to eat. I realized that in the future I would even be the bride of a loving, happy family of my own. Mom and Dad were truly in love with each other and lived their whole 20 years of marriage in perfect harmony. Never quarreled, never cheated on each other, never showed that anything was wrong with the family. They looked at each other with such warmth in their eyes that they hurt me. They were happy, but what would ever happen to me? A single girl in the cinema was a match for me simply because each of them only tried to please the chosen one. Each of them saw in me only a destiny, not a real me. Every time I tried to invite girls I knew on a date, every time I turned into some kind of farce, a parade of fake smiles and attempts to please. I saw the interest to them as not as a person but as a savior. It was very insulting because it wasn't a freak whose entire personality was on around being chosen, with nothing else behind it. That'd be interesting. I was able to keep a conversation, fake compliments, but girls never treat dates any as if I was an ordinary guy who had invited them. Others repeated what Arnold was on a date with the chosen one. Single time forever discouraged me from inviting little girls on dates. Now one of the fishing seasons opened Saturday, I met a pretty sweet girl who was talking about something with her friends. Almost the entire celebration I kept staring at her. Beautiful long blonde hair gathered in a braid and a blue dress, smile on her lips. Due to the holiday, I plucked some courage and approached the girl. Of course, she already knew who I was, but as soon as I got closer, she lowered her gaze and smiled faded from her face. However, to meet her the next day, I wasn't good, and I immediately saw she was looking at me that she didn't want to. Bit her lip or well, I don't know. In that moment, her friend standing near where I had been looking at me with her without how dare someone like me. Judging will called her on the day and she didn't refuse. Other villagers standing nearby immediately picked up on the news and repeated the news of this outrage. The girlfriend insisted that she couldn't refuse the chosen one, that it was a savior. That since I invited her, she had to say yes, but the girl didn't want to go anywhere with me, no matter how sad I was to admit it. It began to shame her for her anger. Almost with tears in her eyes, she agreed. I realized that I would definitely not invite girls anywhere else in order to spare them from the public judgment they might receive by simply interacting with me. And although I could take advantage of the situation, take advantage of the power that was granted to me for some reason, it wasn't in my nature. Somehow disgusted with myself and the crowd, I felt offended on the girl's behalf. I assured her that everything was fine and that we could just walk around the village. I did it so she wouldn't get a poor reputation. By nature wasn't in danger but hers. Next day we took a walk, only spending half an hour together. I told her that she didn't have to see me if she didn't want to. The girl thanked me, and since then I tried not to approach her once again, or anyone else for that matter. Ever since I was sure that I wouldn't see a fortunate marriage. I felt deeply in love. When was it? Not just written a speech for tomorrow's celebration. I shrugged my shoulders, not distracting myself for the moment. Where's Dad? I finished it last week. Wow, smart. Atta boy, I told you, honey, our son is the most abominable boy of all. I already knew that, dear. I already knew that, bitch. He just said all that shit, and he's like, I already knew that, bitch. To think there's such an excitement to being just a few days away. Our child becomes an adult, and it's not just a celebration of simple joy, he's the savior of our life. I sighed my fingers, started an old song again, how lucky they were that I was the one who was born to them. Just how good it was that I chose them when my soul was floating somewhere among the stars, and how lucky the whole world was that I was a savior. I wanted to cover my ears with my hand, but they wouldn't help either. I heard all this all day after day, but before my birthday it was doubly so. I had to work out with Damien. A little long, I think they were ahead of me. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was a lot of reading. There's no pictures of any characters? Alright, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm just gonna save here. Just save. I hope you guys like this video. Hope you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And get